Artificial intelligence is kind of having a major identity crisis right now. I mean, is it a crystal ball that can predict the future? Or is it a weapon being sharpened in the darkest corners of the internet? Well, the crazy answer is, it's both. And figuring out that paradox is absolutely key to navigating the world we're all about to be living in.
So here you can see the two faces of AI, right next to each other. On one side, you have AI as a weapon. I'm talking fueling extremism, planning attacks, spreading hate. But on the other side, that exact same predictive power becomes a crystal ball, helping us see where culture and conversations are heading next. It's literally the same technology, the same brain, just being pulled in two totally different directions.
All right, first, let's just look the threat right in the eye. We need to get a handle on exactly how AI is being turned into a weapon for radicalization, mobilization, and, yeah, even attack planning. Okay, I know this looks a little complicated at first glance, but stick with me, because this is one of the most important tools we have for getting this. This is a threat matrix from the Global Internet Forum to Counter Terrorism, or GFCT. It basically cuts through all the noise by mapping out AI misuse on two simple scales. How likely is it to happen? And how bad is it going to be if it does? Think of it like a roadmap to our biggest weak spots.
So what does this map really tell us? Well, it boils down to three huge threats. First, AI is being used for mobilization, actively planning attacks, gathering intel on targets or weapons. Second, it's a radicalization engine, just churning out incredibly convincing propaganda at an industrial scale. And third, and this part's really chilling, it's being used to create these manipulative AI chatbots designed to groom people, build fake emotional bonds, and slowly make violent ideas seem normal.
And make no mistake, this is not some far-off sci-fi problem. This is happening right now. The GIFCT report confirms it, and attacks and foiled plots from New Orleans to Las Vegas, and even all the way over in Pirkala, Finland, AI was apparently a factor in the planning. The weapon isn't coming, it's already out there. Okay, so that's the threat. That's the scary part. But what happens when we flip this whole thing on its head? I mean, if AI is so powerful at predicting and modeling bad outcomes, what happens when you point that same predictive power at something else entirely?
And that, right there, brings us to the opportunity. This is where we see AI transform into a crystal ball for communicators, helping brands and organizations actually predict what's coming and get out ahead of the public conversation before it even really starts.
For decades, PR was a reactive game, right? You'd wait for something to explode in the news, then you'd run after it, just fighting for a tiny piece of the attention. The new playbook, though, the one powered by AI, is all about being proactive. Instead of chasing the story, you use a telescope to see it forming way out on the horizon, and you get there first.
And this quote right here just nails it. The whole game has changed. Influence today isn't about who has the biggest budget or the loudest megaphone anymore. Nope, the most valuable currency now is timing. It's about being earlier than everyone else.
And we're not talking about some distant future here. The speed of adoption is just staggering. By 2025, research says over 30% of outbound marketing messages will be generated by AI. Now, to put that in perspective, back in 2022, it was less than 2%. That's not a shift, that's an explosion. And it's happening right now.
All this change, of course, means enormous amounts of money are at stake. A McKinsey analysis suggests generative AI could unlock, get this, up to $4.4 trillion in value every single year. And it's no surprise that marketing and sales are right at the center of it all, about to see the biggest impact.
So this new reality comes with a whole new rulebook. The entire game of influence has been rewritten from the ground up. And here's the twist. Your main audience isn't just people anymore, it's the machine. The goal now is to train the AI that decides what people see in the first place.
This brings us to this really critical new idea, machine-readable credibility. See, when you get covered by a credible publication, it's not just a nice clip to show your boss, it's a data point. You are literally feeding the machine the information it needs to go, okay, this person is an authority on this topic.
So how does the algorithm decide who to listen to? Well, long before a story goes viral, it's silently asking a bunch of questions in the background. It's like a little background check. Does this source have a history here? Are other credible people linking to them? Are they consistent or just jumping on a trend? By the time you even see the conversation happening, the algorithm has already picked its experts.
And all of this leads us to the biggest challenge of all. In a world just flooded with AI-generated content, where information and misinformation moves at the speed of an algorithm, how do you manage truth? And how does credibility become your most valuable asset?
This right here is the single biggest hurdle for anyone in communications. The scales of truth are just completely overwhelmed. You see, misinformation isn't some rare crisis anymore. It's the permanent, chaotic weather of our digital world, just flooded with lies that are faster, cheaper, and more persuasive than ever.
So in this new environment, what's our most important asset? It can't be just a subjective reputation anymore. As this quote says, our new currency is verified belief. The most valuable thing you can have isn't just a good story, it's a story that you can prove is true, without a doubt.
And to defend that truth, a whole new discipline is popping up. First, brands are building what you might call truth supply chains to track and prove where their information comes from. Second, they're creating rapid reality units. Think of them like a SWAT team of comms, legal, and data experts ready to jump on falsehoods in minutes, not days. And third, they're mastering pre-bunking, which is getting the real story out there to inoculate people against the lies you know are coming.
So we're left with this one last thought. We've seen how AI can be a weapon, and how it can be a crystal ball. We've seen how it's completely changing the rules of influence and truth. But what if the key to all of it? What if it isn't about reacting faster or shouting louder? What if genuine lasting influence is just about using these new tools to listen a little earlier and quietly standing right where you know attention is about to arrive?